The Lunaverse, episode 13 by Grass and Clouds, Carrot Top season. After 5, 4, Carrot Top and Berry Punch. Give me another drink, Carrot Top managed. She had been at the bar for 3 hours, but didn't show any signs of dying down. A little stronger than the last one, okay? She hiccuped. The drink appeared in front of her, but before Carrot Top could take it, a hoof pushed the bottle away. It was Berry Punch, who waved out the bartender. You okay? I don't think I've ever seen you drink this much. Yeah, I'm fine. But I'm losing Trixie here, so I kinda need that bottle. It won't help! Trixie held a small pile of empty bourbon bottles in front of her, and was still going strong. Monsieur Barbon, nous cargon, et que le type perd, nous sommes les champions. She quaffed her latest bottle of bourbon. What's wrong? Berry Punch pushed the bottle further away, only for it to yank itself out of her hoof and float back to Carrot Top. Trixie smiled. Her horn was glowing. Got to be fair competition, otherwise moi et Monsieur Bourbon will be, shamed. Yes, exactly, cheered Trixie, quite happy to find the words she was looking for. Berry Punch frowned. I'm not serving you any more liquor until you tell me what's going on. Stop worrying, BP! Just bet the whole stupid farm! Besides that, I'm fine! She took a big swing for the ball. Totally fine! Bet the farm? Berry Punch looked shocked. Yeah! For this competition, she hiccuped. Guess it was always going to happen. Everybody told me I'm too generous, but I never listened. Stupid me! Berry Punch hesitated. What do you mean? I mean, I'm always practically giving my produce away, giving up my time, energy, and equipment. Hey, when we all went to fight that lunatic Corona, went right into a field of poison joke, because Lyra needed this stuff at the other end, and raindrops could fucking fly. But forget that. What's it to be if I get cast? I'll take the win for the team again. She burped, almost done with her bottle. Can't any more of this stuff? Berry Punch paused, then grabbed the bottle and put it under the counter. Everybody knows how helpful you are, Carrot Top. They respect it. Now, about your farm. Oh, sure they do. Everybody takes advantage of it. Carrot Top reached out and grabbed another bottle, but couldn't quite reach. Giving up for the moment, she said, Of course, I gave away the farm. I'd probably give away my own head if I could. You're very generous, but see, they're all giving me stuff for this farm competition, and in return, I gotta buy an irrigation system for all of them. So if I win, no problem. I'd have enough money 10 times over. But if I lose, I gotta sell the farm to buy the system. She banged her hoof on the counter, but a little more unsteadily. Of course I said yes. We all need the irrigation system. Only way to get it is to win this thing. And it ain't like they put their balls on the line. We don't need to. 'Cause I'm here. Speaking of that, Berry Punch sounded concerned. What exactly are... You know what? Apples would never be in this kind of mess. Berry Punch hesitated. Why do you say that? 'Cause they're so big? No, not just that. They've got business sense. I'm just an element with an element thingy. She waited up, swaying a little. See, if it was the apples that needed the produce from other farms, they drive a hard deal. They demand discounts on everything for any reason, saying the produce ain't up to scratch, or it was grown with water that once touched apple water, or whatever. They go to Mayor Scrolls, get a big grant, or a town owner saying everybody gotta help out the apples. And if that didn't work, they go right to folks in Canterlot and get all the money and support they needed. She swung her hoof around, barely missing Berry Punch. If I get through this, I totally gotta be more like them. And none of this I'll take payment later. Or I'll give you a discount for whatever. Applejack, don't give me discounts. And she is the biggest and strongest farmer around. And every pony loves her anyway, 'cause she fixed the town hall and Berry Punch, come on. This isn't fair. What isn't? Carrot Top looked to Trixie for help, but the soul mare appeared to be composing some kind of ode to her alcohol and was oblivious to all else. I'm trying to talk to you, and you just turned the floor on spin. Carrot Top was beginning to wobble. That's not nice. Turn it off or I'll... Mary Poppins was just able to rush out and catch Carrot Top before she fell flat on her face. You know, Berry Punch, you smell like bourbon. It's kind of nice. They should totally make bourbon into a perfume. Giggled Carrot Top. Elsewhere, Applejack trudged home. She couldn't believe that the other ponies had betrayed her, but they had. Now she had to figure out what to do about it, and what to say to her family. Well, the what to do question was easy. She just had to work harder and come up with some better recipes that beat the combinations of all other Ponyville produce. It couldn't be that hard. There was a couple of nights of short sleep. She was tough and could handle that. Apple Bloom and Big Macintosh could help her too. They were both good at working hard. It might be painful, but they didn't have any choice. Everything was on the line. Applejack wondered how much to tell them. Apple Bloom would probably be horrified to learn that the other farmers were trying to ruin them, so Applejack would have to choose her words carefully. Big Macintosh wouldn't be upset, but he would probably be overtly concerned with the existence of the Anti-Apple Alliance and the fate of Carrot Top's farm. While Applejack obviously didn't want to be unpopular or leave any pony homeless, she was able to grasp that it wasn't more important than feeding Ponyville. Big Mac had demonstrated difficulty with that concept in the past. She might need to word things carefully around him too. Sighing, Applejack began to pick up the pace. She had to get home and back to work. She had a very long night ahead of her. Carrot Top woke up in a very small room. She was on an old mattress, covered with an older blanket and broidered with a faded floral pattern. She also felt the pillow on her head, though she couldn't see it. The room was dim, but she could see a small open door leading to what looked like a bathroom, and a larger door that was shut, a small table, a cup of something was on over. Carrot Top tried to move her head, but seemed to explode in pain. She cried out, "Hi, Gopher!" She thought, "Just stay totally still. Let it go away." But it wasn't going away. It only seemed to get worse, until Carrot Top felt like she wanted to take her brain out of her skull just to get away from the agony. She only dimly remembered her 3 hours in the bar, but she was starting to guess that she had completely and utterly wasted. Hostess sounded somewhere nearby, each one the equivalent of a hammer striking directly in her head. Carrot Top groaned and thrust her head under the pillow. That helped dull the pain a bit. The door opened. "Good! You're up!" Berry Punch bellowed. Or maybe murmured. It was hard for Carrot Top to tell. "Here, drink this." Carrot Top groaned and peeked out to see Berry Punch taking the glass from the table and putting it right under her mouth. She gripped the straw in her mouth and drank. It tasted sweet and cool and light and a lot like her hangover remedy. It wasn't as good as hers, of course, in that there was a bitter aftertaste, and her hangover wasn't entirely cured. Still, though, Carrot Top's head only throbbed in pain once every 10 seconds, instead of every eye blink, and that was a big improvement. "Thanks, but how—" "My special talent is mixing. Part of that means I can understand what the individual ingredients of drinks are. If I try and study the drink enough, I can pick up how they're mixed together and get the final result." Berry Punch smiled at Bill. "It's not perfect, but I hope it's good enough." "Yeah, it's great." Carrot Top managed to roll off the mattress and get to her host. "How long was I out?" "A couple of hours. It's about 1 in the morning." "Past midnight. Ugh." Carrot Top shook her head. "Really sorry to impose, Berry Punch." "Don't mention it," chirped the proprietor. "If you want, you can stay the night." "That's all right. I think I'd like to get home." Berry Punch nodded. "Well, okay. I'll be along tomorrow morning, so I guess I'll see you then." Sorry, but they're not going to be selling anything for the rest of the week. This is palm competition and—" "I know. You told me about it." Berry Punch smiled. "I meant I'm going to come over and help you." "You don't have to do that," Carrot Top said weakly. "I mean, you've got your own business to run and—" "I don't open till 11 anyway. I'll just get up a few hours early, go to your place. Back in time for the lunch rest, just as usual." "But, I mean, how you help me? You're not a farmer." "Well, it's not enough to have good produce for this competition, right? You'll need something to have amazing dishes, and I don't think you've ever cooked professionally. But as for me, I've designed every dish in this bar." said Berry Puns in a matter-of-fact voice. Ingredients, cooking technique, and plating. Now, granted, I don't know much about fine dining, but I think I could give you some good pointers. So I'm going to help you with your dishes. But there's a condition. What? I don't ever want to hear you say that you want to be more like the apples again, okay? Berry Puns looked stern. Because you're not like them, and you shouldn't be. Well, they're not the ones bending the farm. Besides, every pony likes them. Every pony knows that if they have the money, the apples will sell them whatever they need. And they know that the apples will toss them a few crumbs sometimes. But they also know that in any disaster, whether or not they have money, no matter how much they need, you'll be there to help. Berry Puns giggled. You helped fight off Corona. You spent all that time helping clean up the town after the Ursa showed up. You helped Fluttershy when he got that weird disease. Carrot Top was confused. Oh, Blossomfart told me about that. You're always willing to lend a hoof or a carrot, or anything to those who need it. You make every pony in this town feel safe, because they know that there's a pony they can always rely on. Carrot Top realized he was blushing. But why are you doing this? I mean, there's loads of ponies in town that need help with something or other. Because you need my help, said Berry Puns, and I can help you. And I don't want you to lose your farm, because you're a good pony, and you help every pony, and it's not right that you get hurt for it. Besides, I know you helped me if our resistance were reversed. That's all there is to it. Just promise to stay your generous self. Carrot Top grinned. Glad you're feeling better. Berry Puns passed her a piece of paper. All right. These are the ingredients and food supplies sold by the farms that are helping you. Don't give me that look. You don't think I just magically summon food to this bar, do you? I buy from these ponies all the time. Look it over when you get home. Come up with some ideas, and together, and tomorrow we'll start putting them together, your menu. You leave in 7 days, right? Yeah, that's what the competition is. Then we have 6 days to train. We'll start first thing tomorrow. Oh, and one more thing. She took out a small pouch. I think I owe you this. What for? The pouch clinked when Berry Puns swung it. It sounded like money. The tonics. The money I owe you for all those times I was short. She paused. Look, I know this doesn't excuse it, and it probably feels like I'm taking advantage of you, but when I get hangovers like that, sometimes it's all I can do to pick up a few bits off the floor counter and try to find you. I mean, when I'm like that, I certainly don't have the motor control to open up the safe or register. That's why I don't always have enough. Sometimes I can't find that last bit or two, and my head hurts enough that I can't bear keep looking. So, once I can scrounge up 4 or 5, Carrot Top opened her mouth to say something, but Berry Puns quickly said, Anyway, I've been trying to figure out how to give this to you for a while now. At first, it seemed silly to bother you over a bit, and I even tried, but you said not to sweat it. But then it happened more times, and the debt piled up, and I got so embarrassed. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was wrong, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to pay my debt now. So he put the bag of money directly next to Carrot Top. Take it. I won't take no for an answer. And if it happens again, just find me later and ask for the 5th bit. Or give me a time when I can get to you. If you don't want to sell at that price. Betty, I will always spot you, Carrot Top said quickly. If you're in that kind of pain, forget the bits and come find me. Pay me later once you're feeling better. Barry smiled. Oh, thanks, Carrot. Want me to walk you home? No, that's okay. I'll go with Trixie. She collapsed half an hour ago. One of the raiders helped her out. I'll walk alone then. Clear my head. Carrot Top smiled weakly. Then I'll see you tomorrow. Carrot Top began to walk to the door, having a little idea of what had just happened. But she didn't do better than a few hours ago. All right. I'll get home and look at this list. Maybe I'll try to cook something. I could go all night without sleep. If I vet the farm, I might as well try my best. Carrot Top tried to come up with ideas, but the best that she could say about her progress that night was that she was avoided burning her kitchen down. It was just that she so rarely cooked like this. She barely ever cooked for herself. All her time was in the fields, so she had little to spare money to hire farmhands or other ponies to help her. When she ate a meal, it was usually raw carrots. All the cooking she did was to make snacks to sell, and those were recipes designed to be made simply and quickly. None of this braised the carrot for 2 hours in the lemon vanilla broth stuff like Flim and Flam's shoulder. After dumping the 3rd bucket of water on a flaming frying pan, Carrot Top decided to give up for the night and lie down on a couch. She wasn't sure what it was that she wanted to cook. It wasn't the simple, rustic food that she sold in Ponyville. She knew she wouldn't win it, and it seemed inappropriate for the competition. The fancy foams and elaborate dishes that the Flim Flam brothers had shown her had looked fascinating, but not only did she not want to use their help, the more she thought about it, the more she didn't even want to cook that kind of food. It was great, but judging from her practice dishes, it didn't really taste like carrots. It wasn't highlighting what her farm could do. I guess I'll just have the best dishes to highlight the taste of my carrots. I mean, I've got good carrots, she mused. Yeah, nothing crazy, just carrots. And whatever else I need to make the carrots stand out. Now, if only she had some idea what it would be. I think I'm in trouble, said Carrot Top. She was in her kitchen, staring at the ingredient list and a small plate of carrots. Berry Punch had just entered and was unpacking a small box with a little bit of everything for the various farms. It's helpful to see what we have to work with, the bar owner explained. Maybe it was the early hour. The sun had only just risen, but Carrot Top felt stupefied. I mean, most of the foods I make are with stuff I have. I buy flour and oils and things like that, but I only began using raisins a small time ago. I don't even know how to cook whatever this is! She pointed at a large green thing. It wasn't even that she hadn't tried. Carrot Top had been up late digging up recipes, and she did feel that most of them weren't bad, but she was reasonably certain that none of them were competition quality. Berry Punch looked at the confusing ingredient. Bok choy? Oh, that's not hard to use at all. Who's so not around here? Berry Punch shrugged. I know a pony in Carolina that had a little extra, that I could use it for something, so I got it in yesterday, but I figured it might help you instead. Come on, let's start easy. How about a nice salad? Carrot Top had never seen Berry Punch design a dish before. She only really knew the mere context of selling her carrot-based products, or on the rare occasions that she went to a bar. So, a salad sounds nice. Okay, well, we'll start by making some mayonnaise. Making... Can't we buy that? Not if we want it to work perfectly with this recipe. We can't. Here. She put an egg, a lemon, and a small jar of oil on the counter. We're going to beat this oil into the egg yolk. Here's how we start. It was the most difficult salad that Carrot Top had ever prepared. She never made her own mayonnaise before, and she hoped never to make it again. Basically, she had to beat a full cup of oil into a single egg yolk. It took a very long time to beat in, and the mixture had gotten thicker and thicker until it was like she was trying to stir mud. Her jaw ached from holding the whisk. Then, when it was done, Berry had her mix in some lemon juice and a few other things that apparently went well with carrots. But because her jaw hurt, Carrot Top found it hard to get the seasonings just right. Berry Punch wouldn't help her, though, and made her keep tinkering with the condiment until she pronounced it perfect. Next came the carrot part of the carrot salad. This usually called for grain, but Berry Punch showed her a few new and fancy way to do it. Hold the knife like this, she said. Then she performed a trick with her hose, and the knife began sculpting carrots into what looked like tiny flowers. Carrot Top wasn't even sure how that was possible. Add in the mayo, a splash of lemon juice, a pinch of sugar and salt. Berry Punch had Carrot Top toss it fixatively in a rose. She delicately put the petals from one of Lily's finest roses and strewed them over the disc. Perfect. Carrot Top cautiously bit into it and gulped it down. It tasted fantastic. The homemade mayonnaise tasted a lot better than the stall-bought kind, and Berry Punch was right. It seemed to have a lot of subtle flavors that just worked with the salad. The carrot flowers were thinner and somehow crispier than her normal grade variety. If you slice a carrot instead of grate it, you could get a much thinner slice without sacrificing the crispy texture, explained Berry Punch. The raisins and the rose went perfectly with the carrots, the raisins providing extra texture and a bit of juice, the roses adding a remarkable smell. Everything in the dish worked. I'm getting hungry. It was the most difficult salad Carrot Top had made, but it was also the best. Amazing, Carrot Top said. When did you learn that? I'm good at mixing, remember? Berry Punch said, smiling a little. That includes food. All right, come on. Enough gobbing. Let's try a soup next. They cooked just before 11, made 4 different dishes, and only set the stove on fire once. Maybe I should practice that one at home before I show it off again, was Berry's secret response. They only stopped when Berry Punch had to hurry back and open up her shop. Play around with those ingredients, she instructed Carrot Top before leaving. Have fun. Get familiar with them, if you want. Try a couple of those fancy techniques, but don't get carried away. What we need to work on first is finding your voice. My voice? Berry Punch nodded. Mostly. At this kind of thing, there's going to be 2 kinds of farms. A small one like yours, where you specialize in one ingredient. You have an advantage over them because you're covering a lot of other fruits and vegetables to your dishes. And then there's the huge farms, like the Apple Trust groups, where they have the resources to find out what the dish is like and tailor all their dishes to that. But I bet you can see what the problem with that is. Carrot Top thought for a moment. The dishes are all the same, she realized. They're all trying to reach the same justice in the same way. And they have so many ingredient options that they can make the same dishes. Exactly. So what you need to do is find your voice. The kind of foods that you really like that you can refine until they're spectacular. You'll stand out from all the rest, because your dishes will be different and personal. They may not be perfectly suited to any one judge's taste, but if they're unique and taste good, you'll still have a strong chance to go far in the competition. Alright, I'll do that. Thanks for all the help, Barry. Hey, that's what friends are for. Barry smiled and left. Carrot Top spent the rest of the day experimenting in the kitchen, trying to come up with better ideas. Barry Punch returned at sunrise the next morning. After a few comments, I don't know you got up so early, from Carrot Top. I usually don't, from Barry. They walked right back to it. The day went more smoothly, since Carrot Top was starting to develop some ideas about dishes he wanted to cook. The day also held another surprise of supplies. At about 7, Carrot Top heard a knock on the door and went to open it. Oh, Process, what's up?
Jesse said you might need some help today, said Plowshares. He was a tall pony with a blue coat and orange mane. Yes, something about the competition taking up all your time. So, you need help with your fields?
Barrypunch said, your friends told me they asked them with the farmhands if they could lend a hoof today. Raindrops is going to come by later with a spare rain cloud. I appreciate it, but... Carrot Top paused. I don't have that kind of money right now.
Hey, I owe you one for giving me a place to stay when my house got infested with termites. It's my day off at Sweet Apple Acres, so... He smiled awkwardly. I guess I could help you with the carrots or something. No charge.
Carrot Top brightened. As much as he knew she had to go all out to win the competition, it was frustrating to know that she had to leave her fields languid in order to do so. That'll be awesome. Thanks. She spent the morning training with Barry Punch, and soon after working on her own. By the end of the day, she was starting to come up with some recipes to highlight the taste of her carrots, and thought she might impress the judge. On the third day, 4 farmhands showed up to help her, all thanking her for some prior deeds she'd done to them. And Barry didn't come alone either. I wanted to see how you were doing, said Green Grape. If there was any advice I could give you. Advice? Carrot Top examined the glazed carrot and grape medley that Carrot Top was working on. Try peeling the grapes first. They'll be softer and sweeter. That's what this recipe needs, right? Oh, good idea, said Barry Punch. Carrot Top hadn't known that the grapes were peelable, but she watched the green grape show her example. Plus, she said, discarding a large seed, this way you make sure that there are no seeds. Even the seedless grapes sometimes have them. You have to be careful. Thanks, said Carrot Top. Don't mention it. I like you, Carrot Top. I don't want to see you lose your farm. Besides, I remember when my plow arrived late and helped me work all through the night to get the fields prepped. I owe you one. Green Grape smiled. Let me know if you need any other help or advice. On the 4th day, Carrot Top wound up with more farmhands than she knew what to do with. When they wouldn't leave, telling her that they knew she needed help and they were going to give it to her, she put the extra ones on the job of fixing her fences and performing a few minor maintenance tasks. She also received members from half a dozen other small farms who were eager to help her in any way they could. We're considering making a carrot muffin with one of the desserts, Barry Punch said, who pointed herself at the note taker. We? Any chips on the dough?
I see. I saw you had to mix it.
And banana split. You'll help us work out this banana bread? Yep. Carrot Top tried to learn as much as possible. She was getting better, she knew. And while she wasn't exactly a master chef, she was becoming increasingly hopeful that she'd be able to make some amazing dishes for the competition. She tried the recipes out again, and that afternoon, the carrot muffin dish, the glazed carrots with grapes, and the delicious carrot fried rice, and was pleased to find out they tasted delicious. She was getting the hang of it. On the 5th day, she awoke to a Frank pounding at the door. Trixie! Carrot Top stared blearily at her. What are you doing here so early? The sun hadn't even risen yet. You've got to get into town, now! Trixie said, looking panicked. Why? What happened? Applejack's going to war! No. Following question isn't supposed to happen yet!